going on, everybody? It's the Illustrator. Back at it again for part 2 of the question and answer video! Alright, well, I guess I shouldn't really waste any time. Let's just get right into it. My papers are freaking out. Jesus Christ. Alright, so first question is from Sunray NYC. They said, how do I find a place to store my motorcycle here in the city? My plan, as most of you know, was to actually store this bike away in the garage for the winter and actually buy like a cheap fucking shitty bike that I could just rag on. That'll, you know, I don't mind getting salt on and snow and moisture and letting it rust. That plan didn't really come to fruition, but I do know of a place that I was gonna use. I don't remember exactly what the place is called, but I do know exactly where it's at. So I'm gonna put a link in a screenshot or whatever, so you can see the place that I'm talking about. That's the spot that I was gonna use, but unfortunately that plan didn't really come to fruition. I'm sure there's like many spots out there, but this is the one that I know of, so I'm gonna share that one with you. Okay, nice chill vid. Do you ever think about getting a supermoto? I know they're pricey, but it would be a good salt bike. Glad I'm in Texas where I don't have to deal with that shit on the roads. You know, 100% I've thought about getting a supermoto. I mean, look at this shit. Did you see what I just had to do? Of course I was thinking about getting a fucking supermoto or dual sport or any type of dirt bike. These roads, I tell you, man, these roads in New York City are like off-road to begin with. So, I mean, to get something that has the suspension travel to actually deal with the potholes and fissures and all the other bullshit that goes on in this city. But basically, as it turned out, I didn't really want to waste any money on a second bike. And because like it just snowed too hard, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't even like it snowed a little bit, it was a goddamn blizzard. So the ground was just icy and snowy, and it was like a fucking cold front that just came in. And like it became less about having a bike that can handle it and more about, can I handle it? You know what I'm saying? Even if it wasn't necessarily salt on the ground or snow or ice, it was just like it's fucking brick out to begin with, you know what I'm saying? So next question is from Niche D. They said, you are the last moto vlogger I watched. Content top notch and fairly diverse. Not project this and that, but stuff like your Japanese bike documentary. Hella enjoyed that. Keep up the good work. Congrats on the 12K. My questions: what's your favorite food and what got you into riding? Cheers from Germany. I like that when people like actually say what country they're from, because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel so cool when it's like, hey, you know, love from Portugal or something, some far away place like that I didn't think I would have any sort of clout. Look, I got people watching me in Germany. That's fucking awesome. So my favorite food, it's hard to choose, so I'll just break it into categories. You know, without thinking about it too hard, would be seafood. So like lobster tail, crab legs, shrimp, shit like that. You know, anytime someone's like, you know, we're going out, where you want to go? And I'm just like, Red Lobster, without a shadow of a doubt, let's go to Red Lobster. But I also can't front on, you know, a good plate of soul food, because, you know, my black ass, I need some macaroni, some yams, green beans, chicken cutlets, all that. So, you know, if my parents are like, you know, what do you want to eat? I'll just tell them straight up, you already know what I want to eat. When it comes to breakfast, I love French toast. Anytime I go to a diner or somewhere, you know, breakfast oriented, I don't even look at the menu. I just look for the price. Like, how much is your French toast? How much is a French toast, scrambled eggs, and beef sausage? And he also asked what got you into riding, and I pretty much answered that in the last video. Also, I'll link a actual video where I actually talk about that stuff, or you can just watch the last video because I answered that question already. Bullseye says, do you know if it's bad to ride a bike with drum brakes in the rain? I've only ever had one bike with drum brakes, and that was my Honda Rebel. And the Honda Rebel is kind of funny because it actually, like the Honda Rebel is a cruiser / standard bike. And it shares the same platform. It shares a lot with the Nighthawk 250. The Nighthawk 250 is more of a sports bike than the Rebel is. Position, I think it weighs less too. Like overall, it's just like, this is the actual sport bike that uses the CM250 engine. And for some reason, for some weird reason, Honda decided to put the disc brakes up front on the Honda Rebel instead of the Nighthawk. Like, think about that. That doesn't make any sense. So like the front of the Rebel had a disc brake, a single, and the Nighthawk had drum brakes in the front and in the back, whereas the Rebel only had drum brakes in the back. So that was always kind of weird to me. But I had drum brakes in the back. I didn't notice any real degradation of performance in the rain. Drum brakes are not great to begin with, in all honesty, whether it's dry or wet. So whether it's bad to ride a bike with drum brakes in the rain, like I said, I never really noticed like any problems using it in the rain, and I rode that bike in all types of weather. One thing that annoyed me about riding that bike in the rain was the exhaust pipes were exposed, and the bike is so small, the steam that will come off of the water hitting the exhaust pipes would just make, yo, I'll be at like stoplights, just a fucking cloud, like a cloud of steam. Someone who is not very smart might think it's smoke, and it just looks scary as hell. Like I would just be at the stoplight and, you know, I'm like surrounded by a goddamn cloud of steam, like I'm some type of demon. All right, this is sketchy as hell. What the fuck? Yo, let me get that supermoto, like. All right, you guys ready for a rev bomb? I actually just left. Oh, gotta get this arrow. Come on. Let's do it. All right. Pull over right here. Okay, so Kellen Matthias asks, what is your dream bike? By the way, love the content. And I kind of already answered that. Although, to switch it up, I would say the Kawasaki H2. But for your question, I already answered someone else with the CBX, so I'll say the Kawasaki H2. Just because that bike is so fucking bonkers, you know? So Neon Nick asks, what octane did you use in the YZF 600R? And do you run a different octane on your Suzuki? For the YZF, I actually used 89, so plus. And for this bike, I use 89 as well, because I looked it up on the forum and people were like, oh, I just run 89 and I'm fine. So some people said they run premium, but people who said that they ran 89 were fine. Like nothing went wrong with the bike. The bike wouldn't misfire. They would get enough power. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll run 89. Like it's cheaper. Why would I pay for premium? But then one day I rode with 2J. He paid for my gas. And this man fucking, like, he insisted I put premium in the tank. This man grabs the handle and just like puts premium in my tank, and I'm just like, really, bro? So ever since then, I just been putting premium in it because I ran it on premium that day, and I was just like, well, this is fine too, but I assume it might be better for the engine to run premium, so I just run premium. The YZF I ran 89 and it ran like a champ. Like it didn't need premium. Now that you mention it, I actually kind of wonder how it would have ran on premium, but the bike is gone now, so we can't really figure that question out. Gotta be careful not to run out of gas, to be honest. I'm actually very low on gas. Okay, let's make this quick. If you could have something different to a sports bike, what would it be? A dirt bike, or a dual sport, or a scooter, or an old English BSA? I would have to give that award to either a cafe racer, a brat, which I guess is more or less the same thing. Like I would say a brat even more so, but I feel like cafe racer fills the entire category a little bit better. Thank you. I feel like the name cafe racer might, you know, you expect it to encompass the entire chart of shit that is custom motorcycles, as well as dual sport. Obviously, I kind of made that clear. Dual sport / supermoto. I just like 70s bikes, and like I said, the utility of a supermoto or a dual sport would definitely earn it a spot in my garage. Cody Hilton asks, will you get merch, and any tips for motovlogging and such? Will I get merch? Yes, I will. I'm still trying to like figure out how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start off with stickers. I'm still trying to figure it out. So around when I hit 15K is when you're gonna start seeing merch pop up. But I'm definitely gonna launch some merch. And I'm not gonna launch any shirts and like apparel and key tags just yet. Just stickers, you know, just to feel it out. Because I don't know how many people would actually be down to buy shit like that. Any tips for motovlogging? I would say the biggest tip that I feel people should follow for motovlogging is you have to put your best foot forward out of the gate. You know what I'm saying? Like wherever your best foot might be at the time of starting, you have to put that best foot forward. Oh my God, come on. Wherever your best foot might be at the time of starting, that's what you have to start with. You can't, because there's like hundreds of motovloggers out there, maybe thousands, I don't know. But there's definitely hundreds. You know, from the dude with 1 subscriber up to the dudes with millions, you know? There's plenty of people to watch. So if you have to make yourself distinctive, and you have to do that through quality and you know, having your own reason to have people come back to you. Now you might develop that reason for people to come back over time, but what you have to still do is keep in mind that if your videos suck, there's plenty of other people to choose from. I mean, and it's very hard starting out. Like it's unforgiving. You start at 0, you probably won't hit 1,000 for like a year or so, unless you have a big viral video. But that brings its own problems in the sense that well, are they gonna watch anything that you make that is not viral? So I would just say, like, start off with your best foot forward. That's why I'm so fucking meticulous about the quality of my videos. I want to make sure that my videos actually indicate how much effort I put into them. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what I do, even for just a simple question and answers video, like I'm running through the video over and over, like, how do I make this more watchable? Shade Tree Surgeon actually put out a really good video recently. It was how to get 1,000 subscribers in 3 easy steps or something like that. So I'll link that video. I would definitely recommend watching that. I also recommend his channel because his channel, like, the guy is fucking hilarious. Moto Carry says, definitely a chill video. What's your scariest experience been while riding? And if you could go ride anywhere in the world, where would it be? It wasn't even crashing, like, I'll tell you that much. Crashing is not really that scary. The small crashes that I've been in weren't even, like, I wouldn't even say it was scary. I would say it's more scary having to deal with the cops. I know how the cops can be, and I know where I'm from, and I know what I look like. So sometimes that's a little bit more tense, and I have to just make sure that I'm being very calm, because being scared, there's an element of being angry. So, like, when shit like that happens, that's why, like, you know, I try to avoid cops, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of whether or not I'm doing something wrong, because they can always spin it to where you're the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? So they have that benefit of the doubt where that I don't have. So I wouldn't even say it's crashing. It's just like, is there a cop behind me? Okay, that's a tense thing to happen. What do I do? Do I turn off my path? Do I pull over, let them pass, or like what? You know what I'm saying? Of course, it's not always like that, but there's moments where I'm just like, you know, I gotta make a move, because I don't like this cop being behind me. I'm generally not even really scared while riding. I would say that because it's definitely the most tense moments. And if I could ride anywhere in the world, I would say somewhere in Europe. I don't really know where in Europe. I feel like Europe definitely has the best roads going on. Like, this is all grid, you know? Like, just go straight, stop, make a left. There's no real twisties around here, unless you go upstate. But I feel like Europe is so old architecturally and plot-wise that it would be a good place to ride, you know, just to go out and ride every now and then. Hopefully I don't have to walk this bike home. That would suck. Saif Rahman says, how do you deal with Bike Thieves in NYC? Looking to move there with my ZX6R, but I've heard about people throwing bikes in minivans and gone in 30 seconds. That's absolutely a reality of living in New York. People definitely throw bikes in minivans. Like, they don't even have the decency to use a truck. You know what I'm saying? So they don't even have a decency to throw it in the back of a truck. They'll fucking shove that piece of shit in the minivan. Such an asshole. But yeah, that definitely happens, and I'm 100% sure that's what happened with my YZF. When it comes to parking this bike, I feel like my greatest risk of this bike getting stolen is actually when I'm at home, because when I park it at school, there's like a designated spot for parking motorcycles, and the police are stationed in such a way that they can see what's going on there. So, like, my bike has an alarm. I use a disc lock, and it also has the ignition steering lock. I also have a bike cover, you know, shit like that. I lock it to my house. All that type of stuff is right under my window, so, you know, I'll hear if anything's going on. As far as like just parking it on the street, like I'm visiting a friend's house, that's a little bit more sketchy for me. But as of now, it's kind of cold and people aren't really stealing bikes as much. I feel like that's more of a summer sport. I mean, dealing with bike thieves, I mean, the biggest thing you have to do is make sure it's in a secure spot when you sleep at night, because that's when it's gonna get stolen, you know what I'm saying? But you still have to have those measures taking place. You need a disc lock. That's like the absolute fucking basic essential thing. You need a disc lock to lock that wheel. That way no one can walk away with it. Because you only need, if you don't have a disc lock, one person can literally just walk away with your fucking bike. At least if you have a disc lock, they have to throw it in a truck or a van or something, you know what I'm saying? Or you need 2 people to lift it up and walk away with it. And the only reason why my YZF got stolen is because it was on the street, like, for weeks on end, like, just sitting there. Anybody walking by could just see it. That's why my bike is kind of hidden. This one is hidden when I go home at night. You can't see what it is. You know, you gotta go through a lot of trouble to get to it, even though it's still outside. So that's how I deal with thieves. Last question is from Lisa Lister, one of my favorite commenters. How you doing, Lisa? She says, Illustrator, are you an illustrator? Is that what you go to school for? Also, are you a skater? Could have sworn I saw a skateboard in one of your face videos. I already kind of covered what I'm going to school for in the last video. That's why I kind of said most people think that, like, you know, I go to school for something art related, considering my name and also considering like what I do with my videos. But I actually don't go to school for art or anything like that at all. I'm kind of an imposter. I always had a knack for like designing shit, and I had to find a way to work the word illest into a also a related word. There's a rapper, a battle rapper named the Illustrator, and I realized that after I made my channel already, and I was just like, ah shit, I share the name with somebody. And then I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna pass him in due time anyway. And look where we're at now. If you search the Illustrator and you actually spell it right with an E instead of a U, you actually get me. You don't really even get him until you get to like page 2 or something. And she said also, are you a skater? Could have sworn I saw a skateboard in one of your face videos. I also kind of touched on that. I longboard heavy. Well, I used to. I don't really longboard that much anymore. But I was heavy into longboarding. I used to do it daily. I actually took part in a race called the Broadway Bomb. So it was a longboard race that takes place in Manhattan. And it's all along Broadway. So up by Central Park, and then it ends towards the bottom by like the bull statue, the charging bull. You know what? I'm gonna save that for a separate video because that's actually a very, very funny story. Oops. Looks like that will be all of the questions. And look, I still have some gas. Might even make it home. Free for the rest of the day. So I'm gonna go edit this video, throw this shit up later tonight or by tomorrow morning. That YouTube scheduled upload thing, that shit is godlike. Yo, like I'll just wake up and like the video's already up. It has like a couple likes on it, a couple views, a couple comments, and it makes me feel great. I feel like I actually accomplished something. Like the video's gonna be up the whole day. Everyone's gonna see it. That pretty much concludes this series of Q&A videos. Thank you for tagging along. Thank you for asking your questions, actually. This video wouldn't exist without you guys actually taking the time out to engage with me. So thank you for that. Look out for the rider experience and the crash analysis video coming in the near future. Peace out. I'll see you in the next one.